Good evening. We got a good show for y'all tonight. Glad everybody that could join us. Facebook, YouTube. Uh, our show and our topic tonight is: Has the black community forgiven Chris Brown? Okay, most of us know about Chris Brown's situation and his story, about his incident as a 19-year-old. He committed an assault. Well, he got charged with assault with Rihanna, and after that, he went like on a what most people would consider a tailspin of erratic behavior. His music was withdrawn from multiple radio stations. He was not allowed to make public appearances. He hired a crisis management, apologized to Rihanna. This was February 2009, and in April 2009, he pled guilty to 5 years probation and DV counseling. Several domestic violence organizations petitioned against the plea agreement, and then he was sent. And then in August of that year, he was sentenced to the 5 years probation, 1 year DV counseling, 50 yards to stay away from Riri, and 10 yards in public places. Uh, he was denied access to the United Nations, the UK. He had an incident at the Good Morning America while he was backstage during an interview with Robin Roberts. They claim he threw something through a glass window because he got tired of people keep asking him about the incident. In 2015 of March, the probation finally ended. Plus, he had the incident with the other girl. Just to give some people some backdrop, he had an incident with the other girl who I can't pronounce her first name. Last name is Tran.
Karuchi.
Karuchi Tran?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Karuchi Tran. He got 5 year restraining order for that. That was February 2017. Chris Brown's net worth is $50 million. He has grossed over $100 million. He had 15 top 10 entries, 23 platinum albums, 12 platinum, 12 he is 12 platinum, 5 singles, and 2 number 1 songs. So the stage is set. We got a illustrious crew, Rel joining us tonight, and we got Keisha joining us tonight. So how do y'all feel? Do y'all feel the black community has forgiven Chris Brown? What's y'all thoughts on it? Keisha, you go first because this is a topic that me and you had discussed behind the scenes
I
for a
mean,
couple days.
I think they've forgiven him about the Rihanna thing. He just made some other comments about black. He only want the black women with the good hair or whatever. It didn't bother me, but um, like that whole Rihanna thing. They were young. He was 19. They were fighting. People should keep their hands to themselves. I think that it came out that she was the aggressor. So, I think that incident on a whole, I don't know if we was like as mad as what the news media will make that out to be. Now, when he went to Robin Roberts or Morning America and he showed his ass, I think people were more upset with him about that. Um, I could be wrong. I look at things differently. They was both two people, toxic people in a toxic relationship. And why would I be mad at Chris Brown when Rihanna forgave him? I mean, that
Hmm.
just doesn't make sense to me to continue. And people do, like, they continue to talk very bad about him, but she went back to him. Like, they were dating again. So if she doesn't care or feel endangered, then why do we care so much?
With cancel culture, we're in the age of cancel culture. Sometimes things happen, and I think that in our society, unfortunately, people forget about the age of people when they did stuff. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
19 years old. Like really, most of us at 19 did far worse than just hit their girlfriend. Not minimizing that hitting a woman, but I think most of us at 19 did far worse.
I'm not minimizing that he hit a woman, but she hit him too. And if I'm not mistaken, she may have hit him first. So
Okay.
I am not under the belief that if I hit a man that he's not gonna hit me back. I would like for him not to hit me back, but shit, if I hit him, then the expectation is we about to be rocking, not that I'm not gonna get hit back. I think that's a unrealistic thing that I'm seeing a lot of women raise their daughters with, like, because I'm a single mother. I had a son. He was taught if they put their hands on you, you put your hands on them. If they hit you, you hit them back. Now, boys are very protective of their mother, and he won't hit a girl, but then they'll try him. So then that makes me want to go to jail. So we have a unrealistic notion that girls can hit boys, and boys are to grow up to be men, and men are not supposed to hit them back. And I just think that that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Bro, what's your take on it, Real?
Like, my take on it is that was an average situation, but you gotta look at it and just see how society looks at like blame and just men in general. I mean, it was fairly quick that it came out that she was the aggressor. I think like maybe 3 days after. It was probably 2 days after. But they still put the onus on Chris Brown. They tried to take everything from him. Like, he kind of put himself on the cross for her, And I think that the situations where people do get hit are more often, like, I don't know, at least with us black people, more often the chick hits you, she's mad. We take it. Now, she might hit you on that button one day, and then, it might get a little bit more real. They may call the cops or what have you, but the cops don't care nothing about the situation if she hit me first. Usually, you know what I'm saying? It's just usually like, okay, the man did it. And I feel like that was the situation Chris Brown found himself in, because they really tried to cancel, bro. They really tried to. And even with the information that they had, they did not care. All the black men of the industry said they still want to whip his ass. The white people, they're not used to that type of dysfunction. So they wanted it all over. They wanted Chris Brown gone. But you just got to look at how males are looked at in society as, okay, they're bigger, stronger. But what do we do when these women get out of control,
I think the perception on during that time, the perception, like y'all said, until it came out that Rihanna was quote unquote the aggressor. The Rihanna has always been like Rihanna is like the good girl. Like, she can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
And I think looking back at it now, it's 2019, 10 years later, all the stuff that he's done, because it has been like little stuff. It has been people accusing him of behaviors. In fact, he was accused of holding the girl hostage, and then he had to sue, and he actually it got thrown out. And it was like they did a wellness check. Some stuff I seen today, and it was just like too much to like really even do research on, because it's like, damn, this guy never really did nothing crazy as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, and it's like society always got Chris Brown as this bad young man. So that's why.
Just
Go
think
ahead,
about
Keisha.
it like this: you're 19 years old, and you're in a public eye, and something like that happens. Like, technically, you're still a teenager. So, and I think he's been in the industry, even though his background is a little different. You have to view people's background. Um, so he was acting out. I really do believe that right after that situation, he definitely was acting out. He definitely needed to lay on somebody's couch and talk about some stuff. And when you have probably yes men around, or you taking care of everybody, who could you really talk to? So I think he did act out after the fact. But now at 30, I don't really think I hear too much about Chris Brown getting into mixing it up with too many people.
No, actually, like I said, no guidance is the number one song on some charts. If anybody that's watching in the audience have any questions or want to engage with the conversation, feel free to just comment. If you're on Facebook, like I said, unless you allow Facebook the privacy thing, unless you allow Facebook to put your name up there, I won't know who's asking the question. So if it's specific, I can't answer a specific question without knowing who you are. Like, if you're watching via YouTube, like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. So in our opinion, we believe basically that the black community has forgiven Chris Brown.
I think, of course, whoever's the feminist, they'll try to bring it up. Just like Kobe, it's the same thing. Whenever, as long as you got a history, it's something to smear you with before you even begin a conversation. If you really not rocking with that person, and I think Chris Brown did a good job of staying away from interviews for a long time. We have not seen this man really, like he doesn't like media now, and I understand. They build a narrative and put it out there. Despite what it is, they put the most exciting narrative out. And that boy can honestly, he's like the Michael Jackson of their time, of that generation's time.
He's very talented.
Even the movie Takers, a lot of people don't know. That movie Takers came out in 2010, so they probably filmed that movie prior to the incident. So he hasn't even, from my knowledge, I don't think he has been in no more films. And his talent is serious. I mean, you have to be a very biased person to not agree that he's talented, like far as singing, dancing, and in movies.
Yeah, he's very talented. I mean, I don't know. I just think that sometimes this happened before the cancel culture. But sometimes we be like bandwagon jumpers. I don't know. I feel like the media was over Chris Brown, but I don't know if the black community per se was ever really over Chris Brown. Because I remember, like, that's when I got my strong dislike of Oprah, was around the Chris Brown time.
And why was that?
I remember because BB Winans of the gospel group had whooped his wife's ass. And
allegedly.
She had him. No, she had him as a guest, but was dogging Chris Brown, which is a 19-year-old. Like, to me, he was still a kid, So I've been looking at her sideways since the 90s, but that's another conversation for another day. But and with this Me Too movement, whenever he does something, it's going to come up because Rihanna was messed up. If you saw her face and everything.
Yeah, he did. He did.
She was messed up.
Yeah.
But
so you think that this incident, like, does it speak about domestic violence in our culture, or does it speak about? I think a lot of times they like you guys said that the media made this like a benchmark to domestic violence during that time, and this was like the case. And I don't think that the adults stepped in the room. Like nobody became the adults. Like we all believe that Jay-Z is Rihanna's mentor. You didn't hear him make no public statement like, "Yo, I got them. They kids. They made a major mistake."
No, I think Jay-Z was. They were upset. They were upset with Chris Brown. I think though the way Rihanna looked also put people. They were very upset, and I think Chris Brown do karate and everything. The way that she looked at first glance, I think that made everybody to be mad at Chris Brown. But I think sometimes people don't take a breath and remember what it was like to be 19. Because, and I think, unfortunately, we've all seen toxic relationships as teenagers. You might not have been in one, but you've probably seen one. So I think that makes us view some of this stuff a little differently.
So,
but
go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, like I don't know that situation. But it's just typical. Like even when you go up and down, your news feed, you'll see the average typical meme. You really don't see jokes about men putting their hands on women, but it's okay for them to say whatever, or if he cheat on me, he got to die or something. It'll be a joke. It'll be funny, but like it's just domestic violence in the hood is just domestic violence, period. Like you're always going to be, chosen as the guilty one. Now, my big thing is,
you mean the man is always the guilty one?
Right? Like they're always guilty, you know. And even like with the police, I'll speak to my situation. You know, I've had situations where the girl done swung bats at me and this, and that. The girl swung the bat at me and called the cops on me, and because I didn't want to press charges on her, they locked me up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just and men don't want to lock women up. We don't want to call the cops because a girl is hitting us. You know what I'm saying? So just domestic violence is kind of crazy in the hood because men don't really speak on it to stop it. So it's kind of accepted once you get in that toxic relationship up until the man finally does something back.
Do y'all think that incident in February 2009 was the first time he ever put his hands on her?
I think they wrestled around and played a lot with their hands, and she just hit his ass on a button while he was driving. And it's like, oh, wow. So then it automatically became, you know, that shock, fight or flight. Hold up. Nah, I'm going to put my hands on it now. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
she was the aggressor. So the question probably should be, was that the first time she put her hand on him? Because I think
because
she was the aggressor.
One of the things when I was doing the research is she said something really nice. She said, I love him. I love being around him. He makes me laugh and we have a lot of fun when we're together. And and you could, like, it's funny because you know how sometimes you could read something and you try to picture it in your mind. You kind of could tell, like, yo, she really dig dude. Like, I think that they were just like kids who was in love, and those type of feelings, you got to learn how to deal with those type of feelings. You can't really be taught that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. Chris Brown, I think his mother is a single mother or whatever. I don't never hear about a father being around. So he might not have learned those things. And I don't know. Beyond the father seems sketchy. So I don't know if her parents are together. So, you know, if you see toxic, you continue with toxicity.
So I'm gonna ask our viewers and us a question.
Mm-hmm.
Being that we could see this thing, and you know, hindsight is always 2020. How do we feel about our kids when our kids are encountering these situations? Do we just let them grow up as kids, or should we intercede and be like, yo, you make sure you treat her like a lady. For those of us that got sons, make sure you treat her like a lady. You don't put your hands on her, so forth and so on. Or should we just not say nothing?
No, I feel like you definitely supposed to intercede. I think you're definitely supposed to um treat your kids how people are supposed to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And that even goes towards women. Like, you know, you and I no judgment. I'm not one of these women, and all of my son will be 20 this year. He ain't seen a whole bunch of men in and out of my life, his life, or whatever. Now that didn't mean I didn't date, but it's not about what you do. It's not about it's about how you do it. And we're just in this culture of everything want to be on live and everything want to be in somebody's face and everything you want to put on social media and ask somebody's opinion. Why? Because your children are who are looking at you. But you know, that's just a sidebar.
Bro, you got a son, right? You got a son and a daughter, right?
Yeah. I think it starts with it, like it's it's like Keisha said, that a lot of the shit comes from like what you see in your family, because it's just not natural to put your hands on somebody that you rock out with like that, But some people come from families where hitting is accepted, and I think the biggest part is whether you have a daughter or a son, don't tell them don't put your hand. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your hands on nobody. That should be one of the first rules. And emotions are crazy. I think they even got laws around killing somebody in emotional
crime of passion.
Right, crimes of passion. So it boils something in you. But you definitely gotta just raise them with a little bit of self-control,
Yeah, it goes back, like I said, when this incident happened, they were, quote unquote kids, and it's like where was the adults in the room and mentorship, and most of us, we're at the age where we remember community parenting, where the community helped raise the kids, and we like to feel like it's different now. I don't know if it's different. I just think that just times has changed, but I don't think it's different. How do y'all feel about that? Like if you do say something to a 19-year-old, 20-year-old young lady or young man, like walking down the street, you can see they all jacked up and going through it. Like I'm quite sure you done seen it, Keisha and Rel, where you might see a young man on the phone and he going through it with his whoever he on the phone with, and it's like, whoa, I know the signs. Like, do you think you have an obligation to talk to him?
I think that's a hard man. You got two schools of thought in the hood. You got one school of that ain't my business, and then the other school is where you're a little bit more empathetic, and you know what that situation is like. So you're gonna pull them aside anyway. But when you're talking about love, man, it's hard to break that, break that relationship. You're talking about something so emotion filled. So, like personally, me, I'm gonna say something. I'm always the person to just say something, but I think a lot of people nowadays, a lot of people letting kids in the community pretty much slide by with a lot of things because we just don't talk to each other like we did before,
I'm gonna say for the kids in my family and my circle, yeah, I talk to them. It'll be people who ride up on my son, like, that's what you're supposed to do. Um, I even talk to the 20-year-olds, like the young adults, like, you all in love, go travel. Don't get tied down having a bunch of babies. Like, you're supposed to talk to, because some people, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that but you got to remember, like Rihanna was in the industry they had to be in the industry as teenagers. They was kids. So when you got money as kids and you probably taking care of your family, then your family becomes your kid per se. They tell you right from wrong.
Yeah.
So that changes the whole, dynamic. And I believe Chris Brown has been in the industry even longer than Rihanna. So,
but I mean, kids got that same thought process. When you 18, 19, you think So when an adult tell you, regardless if you got money or not, you're like, man, if you don't get your ass out of here. So I just think when you're young, you're not trying to listen to nobody. If you have
I don't know. Don't raise your kids like that.
Yeah.
Listen, my son, he gonna be mad. He gonna do what he want to do anyway. But goddamn it, he gonna listen. Yeah. And then when he do what he want to do anyway, I'm gonna be like, see, I told you it was gonna be that way.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that like how can I say this? You could like the way we was disciplined. I don't even think we could discipline our kids the same way nowadays. It's like a whole different set of rules. I mean, you still gonna teach them right and wrong, but I mean, me and Keisha's son is grown. Mm-hmm. Keisha's son is grown and my son is grown. Rel, your kids are smaller, right?
Yeah. Well, my oldest is 13, so
yeah.
But that's about that age before it's only certain ways you can discipline them. Now is if you tell them, it's like, all right, well, what the hell I'm gonna do? What you gonna take an iPad or a phone? You know what I'm saying?
And that goes. It's funny because it goes into Keisha's question that we was on the phone earlier, and she discussed like, should you be your child's friend? At a certain point, your child gets grown, and what that relationship develops into something else.
Oh yeah, I do not believe as a parent you're supposed to be their friend because it stops you from, teaching them, disciplining them. That's a break in the friendship because you got to do what you had to do at a certain point. I think it's dangerous to treat them like, some people just want to be cool with their kids because they like that feeling like, yo, I can say it, but this is not that type of relationship. You got to be able to stop, get serious, so they respect you for it.
I mean, I don't know. My son, My son tells people like I'm his best friend. Like not right now, we might be beefing, but I never went at it to be his friend,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to be that. It's nothing that he couldn't tell me. It's nothing that he couldn't tell me that I wouldn't be able to accept, talk to him about it or whatever. Because I think that in our community, we may not have always been able to talk to our mothers and our grandmothers. Like it definitely was some type of
Disciplinary type.
yeah, like divider, like
Yeah.
until you got an adult. So I can't say now that, but see, that doesn't mean I don't get busy with him. I listen, he 19 and I still get busy with him because he always in my pocket. So, you just got to find that right balance. And as parents, what might work for you might not work for me.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
But
I'm not with no disrespectful ass kids.
and it's crazy because Chris Brown is very close to his mother, like super close. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder if that situation is so friendly, because I believe she was like his manager at one point or something. She was somebody on his camp because even when they blocked him off the radio, it was his mother calling up and like I remember they said it on the radio. They said his mother wrote a letter to the radio station telling him, please don't block him, whatever, such and such.
I mean, I always go back to this I hate it, but people say women love their sons and raise their daughters. I hate that saying, but I guess it's possible for some.
I've heard that, and I think the way it is different. They honestly, they try to raise their sons like it's their little boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, from what I've seen, and I don't know. Like sometimes it's just not effective, and I believe a woman can raise a man just like a man can raise a man. So
that was actually a suggestion that somebody said that we should do a talk on that.
yeah.
That women should stop raising their sons to be their men.
Right. It's
I don't know who's done that, but I mean I've heard it. It's I hate because I'm a mother of a boy, it bothers me. But I know that that's not my situation. But I've heard it often.
So we got a couple good statements from everybody that's watching. Lorraine had mentioned about Chris Brown's documentary in 2017, My Life. He explained a lot. Maisha mentioned we should teach our children not to put their hands on their mate. Hassan Ali mentioned conventional wisdoms are abandoned by today's generation. Decadence is awarded by excellence, and excellence is frowned upon, which is very true.
I agree with that.
Scoop mentioned those feelings, and you got them strong feelings, and you're young, feelings all over the place. Darren
and
mentioned
hormones.
And Darren mentioned the situation about the news, how everything in the news we just jump on like vultures. And I think it's funny because at that time of the incident, I believe that's when it all began with the the news, just the thing. And now I actually think it's going back. And that's one of the things with a platform like YouTube and even Facebook Live, like a lot of celebrities are controlling their own narrative. Even with Twitter, like they ain't allowing you to be they don't even have, most of them don't even have publicists. They just, if they want something to get out, they'll tweet it, put it on the gram. Like Chris Brown even had a YouTube page where he apologized about the whole incident as well.
Yeah.
But people are making money just by being themselves on social media. So, some of them need a publicist, but
some of them put their foot in their mouth, Keisha.
Yeah. I like Cardi. I think Cardi need a publicist.
I agree too. Cardi needs, that's a whole nother show. But don't get me started. So the other issue, I don't know if we y'all want to get into the other issue, the other topic, which I had mentioned behind the scenes about supporting black business.
Did he get up?
Hey, so did you want to address the supporting black business, Keisha?
I'm all for as a
You,
black
you,
business. I'm all
you're a black
for
business
people
owner.
support. Yeah, I'm all for people support.
And I know it's kind of like, damn, y'all just got finished talking about a one issue. Now y'all on supporting black business.
But no, it all coincides because
Exactly.
we need to support black people, and we don't always do that. Like it's no redemption for black men. For black men, you know.
I feel like we kind of gotta. I feel like we gotta kind of stop saying that, because on one point you should support black businesses, but once you make your business black like that, you kind of put yourself in a lane. You know what I'm saying? And most of the money in this country is obviously you gotta do business with the white people too. You know
Absolutely not.
What that you if you have a business, you have to.
Absolutely not. You know how much money we spend?
No, I understand that, but
our economic dollars, if we supported black businesses or minority businesses, we could put some white businesses out of business.
Right, but the thing is, like, I understand what you're saying, but we should be like, we can't run a store on Route 22 and just say this is only for black businesses. Your money is not going to come. You know, it's all these Indian people flying around, all these white people flying. Like, you know, we just can't put ourselves in a box. Yes,
why?
It just doesn't make sense. You talk about missing out on, like, if we spend that much money,
no. If you have a blow, no,
they have if you 10 times our money. So we're missing out on that much money, 10 times as much money. White people.
Who? I need y'all to like give the other one a chance to speak. I need the audience that's listening to engage in this conversation about black business. I think this is interesting that these two disagree on this issue, and I think this needs to be discussed, because what is a black business? What does that mean, supporting black? Because I understand.
To me,
wait a second.
It means
I understand exactly what Keisha's saying, and also I understand exactly what Rel is saying. That if you're just catering to a certain group of people, does that exclude you from getting a certain group of people's money? So one of y'all can go and just finish it up.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
You know, like I was saying, I understand niche, like, you know, it's niche shops. You know, if you're gonna pull in a certain type of customer or whatever. Understand that, but I think just with a lot of stuff, we got to stop boxing ourselves in with that, because we're missing out on the trap. It's a lot of, when you say black business, it's a lot of bad connotations, because people automatically think of the hood or crazy customer service or something like that. Or shit, we used to getting yelled at online over black businesses. You know, why y'all don't support, and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just try to run the best business you could. And if people don't come, you just got to have a better offer. You know, I'm not going to, you know, a black business in the hood when I can find the same deal at Walmart for 50% less. It has to be a deal. We can't just shop at black businesses just because it's black. You know what I'm saying? We need to save. It needs to be a good offer. Like, that's all some people saying. So go ahead, Keith.
Black owned business just means that somebody black owns it, and yes, we should support black owned businesses. Now, yes, they should have good customer service, but if I'm a small business owner, whether I'm black or white, I don't have the ability to give you a deal because you're a small business owner. Once you get to another level, that's different. But when you go to a business that's smaller owned, you should get better customer service. You should be able to build a relationship and a bond within those stores. But to say that we shouldn't pigeonhole ourselves for that, what are you talking about? The white stores that we shop at are not designated for us.
But they're not designated for white people. You don't see Caucasians.
They are. Just because it doesn't say it, it's just because it doesn't say it, it's not designated. Give you an example.
Of a
Gucci,
white business.
Timberland.
This is just for white crackers. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
Can't
I'm
use
not
that
saying
word,
that
bro.
it's just,
Can't use that word.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that their target market, just because we have put ourselves in a space that we want to be European, for lack of a better word, we're buying stuff that's not designated for us. The America is not designated for us. What are you talking about? When they putting that stuff together, it's not designated for us. We're just buying it. So, but we're spending the most money. If we used our economic dollars in a smart way, we could put a lot of this stuff out of business. And instead of a Target, it could be a rail Target or something like that. If you know, but just because of sentiments like yours, like, oh, I got to get a deal. I ain't even got this shit off the ground yet, and you want a deal?
When I say a deal, I don't mean a deal in the sense of let me get a certain amount off. I mean like your store has to have an edge. Like, why do I come here? Or why do I go here? Like, if we got a CVS and we got a Rite Aid, even though they're owned by the same damn people, just in case, they're two different stores. Why am I going to CVS?
I'm sorry.
It has to be like for instance, we might have restaurants in the hood that make a better sandwich. You know what I'm saying? That's a better deal to me.
Most of the bodegas do make a better sandwich. But y'all gonna take y'all asses to Harold's because somebody gonna put it on there.
I got one thing. I got a couple questions, a couple statements from people watching. Scoot said, "Word of mouth and good products sell itself." No, because if I see a store that stay full, I'm going in there to check it out. Hassan Ali said, "All businesses target black dollars." Mm-hmm. Scoot said this to Terrell. He said, when you go into a store and their whole attitude changes, she'll let you know right there they don't want to deal with you.
I mean, what store do we go in there? Attitude changes, though.
And Hassan Ali said he agrees with Rel. Your business should be unique and have their own appeal.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. Like,
I don't disagree with that, but that doesn't mean if I'm a black-owned business, I'm a black-owned business. Like we're saying that, but do you know if you're in a small business market, how much money you get by being designated a woman-owned business?
Yeah, you consider a minority.
Right. So why wouldn't you say those things? And why wouldn't I use that to my benefit to have people support me? What's the difference between that as a woman and then me as a black woman? I don't get it.
What's the product? Sometimes you can catch that, sometimes you can't. It depends where you live. Are there a lot of women that feel like that they like that around that area? Then you can do that, but you can't.
But I think you crossing a couple of different things. Ain't nobody saying that you spend your money where you want to spend your money, but you can't say that you shouldn't. That they can't say support black-owned businesses because you pigeonholing yourself.
Well,
all you're saying is that I'm a black-owned business.
Okay, you're saying, what are you saying that for?
She's saying, Rel, like, ain't nobody gonna put in their store support black business. It's just happened to be that the owner meaning the owner is black, and she would want people that look like her, that's from her community, to support her.
Oh, yeah,
not just say, well, come in here because I got a black business. No, come in here because I'm from y'all community, and to keep the black dollar within the community. That's what she's saying. She's not saying like you got a sign up at your store talking about support black business.
I would only put that up in February. Just jokes.
Right.
Just jokes.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but
Keisha, you basically you got the Claude Anderson method. That's the basis of his book Powernomics. Like, this is how you could close the wealth gap by supporting black businesses and developing business owners and keeping the black dollar within our community for more than what I think is 3 days it stays, or something like that. Keeping it more than 3 days, try to keep it at least a week. I think the Chinese dollar stays within their community 13 days. I think they got the highest. It stays within 13 days, and that's incredible.
Right.
Yo, they even split that. You ever seen them in a casino?
Exactly.
They have a pile of money
Mhm.
and they go and they split it up. And whatever they win, they bring it back and they divvy it back out. They even gamble together.
Mhm.
Do you think that, like the scenario I said behind the scenes, like my sandwich thing, like you go into a deli right now, it's 8:11. They closing at 9 o'clock. I go in certain places and be like, yo, give me a turkey and provolone. Yo, we ain't got no provolone, bro. Yo, give me a turkey and Swiss. We
Mhm.
ain't got no Swiss. Well, just give me a turkey and cheese, yellow cheese. He go to get the bread and all that, be like, damn, we ain't got no turkey. We got roast beef. Do you think that that's more prevalent with small businesses or black businesses? And this is a two-pronged question.
Mhm. Um, I, I think I think every business like they kind of run into that issue, and of course, when you got a business that may not really be popping, you know, you gonna run into that. I think that like to me, that ain't the majority. To me, it's just the customer service is crazy. Just period. That's what I see. So instead, you might walk in there at 8:11, and it might be 9 o'clock, and they just might be putting stuff up, and it seems like they really don't want to serve you. That's what I've seen. You know,
Yeah.
that's a more
I
common
I
issue.
I think sometimes it is, unfortunately. Um I've seen some bad customer service in all businesses, but I think that sometimes we don't give each other any redemption either though. Like I've heard where like you go to a black business and then you get mad for whatever reason. They all over social media. See, that's why I don't support black businesses because of like, we are very hard on one another. And I'm
Yeah.
not, and I'm saying, and I'm including myself in that because I think some of it though is that we were raised with the mindset. I don't know so much about this generation, but I know my generation and older. Like you always had to be better. You always had to do better. So the expectation is for them to be better than some of
Like
the
why
shit
like
that you say.
like why would you open up a business if you ain't gonna be right?
Right,
Like don't
Right.
even try it unless like
right.
try to be a perfectionist. Let me ask you guys a question. Have I know both of y'all ate from Popeyes before, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Have both of y'all ate from Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's customer service.
Chick-fil-A is definitely, and
Like,
if you ever been to that hillside Popeyes, like they the worst of the
Mhm.
worst of the worst.
and that's what I mean. Like to me, Popeyes is better than Chick-fil-A. The food. But their customer service,
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's customer service is phenomenal.
but who's gonna like what areas Chick-fil-A is in. You know what areas Popeyes is in.
Nope, I ain't going to agree with you there because
I
in
mean, you have to agree
Maryland,
with like that's a real statement. We don't have Chick-fil-A's on Main Street, broader market. Most
I
of the
need you
places,
to expand your mind out of New Jersey.
I'm just this is we talking about what we live in, which is all general to us. I know this experience. You know what I'm saying? We all from the same area. We just don't have like there's a Chick-fil-A in the mall here. I don't even know if there's a Chick-fil-A. I don't even know where Chick-fil-A is in Essex County. You know what I'm saying? And those businesses technically should be in the hood just like everywhere else. But we have 30 Popeyes, 50 KFCs. It's just
It's 30 Popeyes in the hood.
it used to be. The numbers dwindling, but 30 Popeyes in the
I
hood.
don't remember 30 Popeyes in the hood. I remember
It's
one
a
in
Popeyes on
Irvington, one in
South
East
Ave. There used to be
Orange.
one on Main Street. I bet you damn near every street in the Popeyes on Springfield Ave.
yes, Popeyes Springfield
Okay.
Avenue,
That's
Irvington.
every main block, and I could probably keep going. You know what I'm saying?
The Popeyes ain't saturated in the hood. Like it's getting to where it's more, but it wasn't never saturated. It's three Popeyes in the area. It's one on Liberty Avenue, is one
Mm-hmm.
on Newark Avenue that people don't even know it's a Popeyes over there on Newark Avenue. And then the other only Popeyes in this area is on 22 that I could think of right now. So that ain't really saturated. But and when I say in places like Maryland, it's a town center. and every little pocket of town, and they got stores and all that, and it be Chick-fil-A's, and they be
Yeah,
in urban areas and everything else.
yeah. See, out of state, it's just a whole nother thing. Like because it's not so much urban like us, and it's not so compact. You know what I'm saying? You don't see people standing outside of stores, or like you just might not see a person walking around for 5 minutes in front of the store. So it's just a different story. But like I said, the people that do that at Popeyes and North would not catch that, in the mall. They'll be out of there. So it's just different quality of standards for the company. And I think once I had a conversation, I watched the conversation with a bunch of women, and they were talking about not being allowed to I guess like express their emotions or not have a bad day at work or whatever. And I just looked at it, I'm like, they're right, they might have a bad day or whatever. But when you're doing customer service, it's almost like you got to forget about what's going on with you and kind of smile and be happy. And I just don't think, a lot of people get that when they get these customer service jobs.
Like one of the things, the reason why I'm maybe bringing this up is like, we grew up, man. You drive down South Orange Avenue and you smelt brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody always talk, oh, people don't want to eat that pork stuff, but at the end of the day, a lot of people go to the Portuguese restaurants down the neck and go get the same food
Right.
that they used to get in Brothers. Like
Mhm.
the Portuguese churrascos, them basically barbecue joints is all over. They
Mm-hmm.
on 22, and it's nothing against eating Portuguese food or supporting Portuguese people. I'm just using this as an example. Like we had like Brothers was a staple when we were kids, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't know what happened with their business, but it's like you don't see those type of mom and pop businesses no more in our communities.
This is one thing I thought about too. Our mayors or whoever decides like the city ordinance, they're not protecting us from big business. They're not. It's no reason for a CVS, Rite Aid, or any type of big name brand. It shouldn't be no Popeyes. It should be no McDonald's in the hood. Like those, and that was a thing when she brought up Maryland. When you go down to Maryland, you often see like private businesses that don't even have like a franchise. So like our people that are especially running in these black cities, they need to stop these big businesses coming in because that chokes our dollar out. So you got the CVS right next to there with Bob C pharmacy right there. He gonna go out of business. He can't deal with that price structure that CVS is getting. They gonna outprice him. Like our governors of our town, they gotta get those businesses out of there at all costs. And I think that's how we really,
That's not gonna happen
yeah, we
But
because they
because
go ahead.
a lot of
that's
times
not
what
gonna
those big
because
businesses
people.
do, Rail.
Go
Mhm.
ahead, Quentin.
Go ahead, Keisha. A lot
Well,
of
first
times
of
what those
all,
big businesses do is
go
what
ahead.
I go and then you go. What they do
Uh-huh.
is like, for example, when North tried to get Amazon, what they'll do is they open up the job market for people.
Hmm.
And this is how they get the tax breaks and stuff. Is like one hand wash the other.
Right.
I'll let you come in my community, but you got to make sure that a certain number of residents in my community got jobs.
Hmm.
And this is a in my opinion, this is a tough situation for a politician to be in.
Hmm.
I know for us three, we don't live in the hood no more.
Hmm.
Um, from what I'm learning is Raz Baraka. And I'm not gonna say I'm a big fan. I'm not gonna say I'm a big critic, but
Hmm.
he's practically trying to give people land to invest back in Newark, and he's doing it for minorities.
Hmm.
So I think the problem, and Keisha may agree with this, is that the problem is everything is timing. You gotta have the money at the right time to
Hmm.
jump on it when it comes. And that's anything with life. Like
And
go ahead, Keisha, you go ahead.
everything is timing, and everything is that we are always a step behind. We always a step behind the post. Like, um, of course we should be buying in Newark. I say that to Quentin all the time. Of course we should be buying in Vauxhall or buying in Union. Like we had a gold mine that in a lot of ways we're kind of let slip through our fingers because we're always a step behind, and I don't know if it's anybody's fault. I think that we just, in a lot of ways, you're just trying to make it. And once you get to a place where you feel like, okay, I'm comfortable, I can invest, I can do this, I can do that, everything's sacked up, or it's 10 times more expensive than what it was 2 years ago. But for as far as like the CVS's, they're not, they give those people tax breaks, they promise them jobs and different things. So they're not going to get rid of them. I mean, it's just, but I feel like it's too many CVS's.
That's
It's
what I'm
too
talking
many. It's too many. Like, how many pharmacies do you need?
about. Right. But go ahead.
And as far as restaurants, like, it's sad, but I'd be like, what's a good soul food restaurant in the area? Like growing up, it was really good soul food restaurants in the areas. Now, it's very hard to mamas, I guess. But that really a restaurant? That's like, that ain't a sit down restaurant. Like you used to be able to go to sit down restaurants, What was it called? Jaws, whatever. That's closed.
It was called Belmont Steakhouse, Keisha. That's where you went as a kid, because that's where I went there my first time, and next thing you know, they was closed down. This was like
Yeah,
90. It was like 88, 89. I was like, what the heck?
Right.
But and then like they have
Hey, Ralph, somebody said you looking like a whole snack in that white t-shirt.
He's trying to catch.
Knock it off.
No, somebody said that you look like a whole snack in the comments, bro.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, all right, it's like you said, it's the numbers. I understand you get, political benefits, tax breaks, all that, but like, come on. Amazon is completely different from us just having like a small store like CVS. I think as a politician, because you know what? They spend such small terms, they just try to go for, whatever's going to boost their numbers. But like the long play is, keep them out of here. And it's crazy you mentioned Maryland, because that's the first thing. I went to Maryland for the first time probably, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago. And the first thing I noticed that in those like little center malls, there was no franchise. Like they literally, they have to keep them out. You know what I'm saying? And every time I went to like, more suburban town, I just realized like in some of these main streets, they keep these businesses out. So regardless of tax favor, maybe housing taxes is, much more in the suburbs. So they don't need the businesses, that are typical franchise.
Oh, no. They need the businesses. I think that some of the differences is they want to, if you've ever been in Union Center, it has been whacked for 40 years.
I'm gonna just, Keisha, I'm gonna just reset the show because I see a couple people didn't know what we were talking about. The first part of our show, for those just tuned in, we discussed whether the black community has forgiven Chris Brown. Now we jump to a subject that everybody talk about: social media supporting black business. So we're talking about the dynamics of supporting black business and basically getting what your money paid for. So that's what we're discussing for those that just joined the show and asked about I guess somebody asked about the place Cornbread up in Maplewood, New Jersey. But so we're gonna just let everybody know.
I haven't had cornbread, but I heard it wasn't that good.
I don't want to be the what's that the food critic people, Keisha?
I know.
Yelp. That's Yelp.
But
right?
And that's another thing though about reviews. Like people really be on them reviews and they really won't go to your place if you got a bunch of negative reviews.
I remember one time in the summer I had posted about Wawa. Now if you live in Pennsylvania, Wawas are serious with customer service. They treat you good. So I was in Maplewood and I'm happy because that's the hood. That's our area.
Right.
And I feel like I went in there and it wasn't a Wawa. I felt as though it was a gas station that just had a store connected to it because it didn't have the Wawa feel. It didn't have the customer service. When I went in there, They didn't have all the coffee. I wanted French vanilla. They didn't have French vanilla. Then I said, let me get hazelnut. They didn't have hazelnut. They wound up having decaf. Then I wanted to talk to a man. It got so bad with their customer service that I actually was going to do a video and send it to corporate. So that's just giving people a backdrop about customer service. Like when you got a business, like people expect you to be running right. Like people don't expect janky businesses. I mean, y'all even get on me about a show with background noise. I mean, and I respect the game because the audience is helping me try to perfect my craft, but still, like, we gotta understand that when you're spending your money, you have people that want you to be professional and have the products that you're supposed to have. Go ahead, Keisha.
Yeah, and be honest. I think a lot of people today are getting into business, but like for example, a lot of them internet businesses, they don't have the stock, but they taking your money. So now you gotta wait for it to come from Wish or China or one of these places, but you have a delivery schedule. How do you have one without the other? Like you have to be able to business to go into business is expensive. And I think that people don't recognize how expensive it really is. Like, yes, it's some people that started a business off of $50 and they was able to make it successful eventually. But you need money to run your business. You also need money to live. And I don't know if everybody has thought of those different variables as they start in these businesses and running these businesses.
Nah, I mean, we ain't got the riches for folk, so I can understand. But I think one thing is that we as a people, we got to watch ourselves when we go in these stores too, because I've seen a lot of bull, just people walking in and thinking they can talk to the store like that. So perhaps that's another reason for, the customer service issues or whatever. But
what do you mean talk to them like that? Talk to them how?
No, like you, I'm pretty sure you've seen somebody walk in the store and like Q said, they don't have certain meat, or they don't have this and they don't have that, and then a customer blacks out on them, like they supposed to have it for them, like they obligated to have it for them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people might go through that dealing with those type of customers and think, the next one is crazy. So I think we got to have respect for the businesses also.
One of the things that Hassan just said was business is business. Even if you're black people, and this is true, black people really don't understand capitalism, only certain parts of capitalism.
Right. Exactly.
And like Keisha, this is your wheelhouse. What Scoot said, a lot of people don't understand when you got to have insurance for your business as well, and not be liable for certain things, and you put yourself, because a lot of times, like people are looking for to just sue you. Like you get sued.
Right.
I mean, if for those that don't know, even if you have a page on the internet, you could be a health guru and you have to specifically say this is for educational purposes only.
Right.
Because when you online, you open yourself up for so many lawsuits. This is why if we're talking online and I say allegedly, it's a reason, because you can open yourself up for something they call negligent of the truth. Like something could be, we can know something is factual, but until like it's been proven, quote unquote, in the court system, it's not true. So this is important with it. Keisha, I know you deal with it every day with calling insurance companies, making sure.
Well, I mean, you have to have professional, liability insurance and different types of insurance depending on, what you're doing. And, because someone could submit a claim towards your insurance. And if you don't have no insurance, then they looking for you to put out that money. Just something simple as that you might have omitted something when you're talking to somebody about something. And because of your omission, it was a big mistake or it was a minor mistake, but they're blaming you. So, a lot of people don't know that though. A lot of people don't know that you're supposed to have insurance, and you're supposed to have money put up and different things. And a lot of people don't even know they got payday loans for businesses. And so many ways that you could set yourself up in a risk that you're doing good in January and you about to close in March.
Yeah.
But I can't let my customers know that. I can't treat them with disdain in any kind of way. I shouldn't have a special up on a board, and when they come there, I ain't got that. Like, because that's gonna be a turn off.
Right.
I always put myself as the customer. I try to treat people how I want to be treated.
Yeah. And then another thing, like, why it's just like Hassan said, but Keisha is right too. But like, as far as black businesses, we just got to learn how to do business with other people also. I mean, and just take advantage of them like how they would take advantage of us. You know what I'm saying? Business is business. Like, we put a lot of support black business, but Asians don't have to do that. Koreans don't have to do that. They just know too. I think in some of the black businesses we're running, we need to build a communal aspect around them of the people we're trying to raise up. So maybe and black people are more communal than anybody. We know each other in the hood.
Yeah, but we don't. But I don't know. I heard two different things. The Asians don't say it, and the other people don't say it because it's common knowledge that that's what
it's done.
That is what is done. So in a lot of ways we got to be re-educated about some stuff. So I'm okay with people saying support black businesses, but that doesn't mean I don't support other businesses. If I go get a doobie, I'm supporting a Dominican business. It doesn't mean that I don't support other businesses. If I go get some Portuguese food, I'm supporting a Portuguese business. So I mean, I just don't understand. If I want some Italian pizza, I'm going to the Italians. I'm not going to the bodega. So I don't know why it's so difficult for us when it comes to supporting black. Even the notion of supporting black business.
My man Trick had the pizza shop in IGA Mall back in the day, so it ain't no excuse not to go to the black man for the pizza. Now let me stop playing.
Bobby Green. What was his name?
In Last
Mr.
Dragon?
Green's Pizza. Yeah. I ain't want that. I want some Dominics.
So like one of the issues like what Rel brought up is people know like we all heard about how Black Wall Street was destroyed, but they didn't bomb Bergen Street. When we were kids, Bergen Street was all African American businesses. Like
my uncle had a hardware store on Bergen Street,
except the pizza shop. The pizza shop was probably, I think, the only Italian guy on the block, but everybody else was all black businesses. What do y'all think happened to those businesses?
I think they just got outpriced, and I mean, it had to be a time. It had to be a time of economic distress for all these stores that were probably owned to be gone now. And then now that we run up and down our main streets, and it's just totally not us.
I think though. Some of the people may have retired and it was nobody to pick up the torch. I mean, I don't know if we really raise our kids to be business owners.
That too. But if you have a business and you got them in your family, you would figure that they would automatically be grown to run this. You know what I'm saying? So how is it that they all gone? You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know. I mean, I would have to do some more research, but I still think like back then, people was looking for their kids to go to college and become professionals. Who want a little neighborhood hardware store? But like it's still some black, like Brantley Brothers Moving and Storage. I know they was black owned because they lived on Summit. They lived on my grandmother's block. I think one of the sons have carried on that business. It's probably some, But again, I don't know if we really raise our kids to be business owners. And
Mhm.
I'm not just saying us as black people, I'm just saying anybody. Because there was a lot of people back in the day that had small businesses.
Mhm.
You put your kids through college, you want them to be doctors or lawyers, some type of professional.
Right.
So I think we have gone away from like owning businesses.
Either that or just the money is not there. There's no money being passed on. I mean, clearly, you're not starting it's hard to start it on a small wage job. So, like, it just seems impractical for a lot of people. You got to have an excess of money to even think about starting a business. And, I think one of y'all said we just go through so much drama after saving, and that, the shit gets smashed, and it's like, oh, forget it.
You
But,
have to have perseverance, but you really don't. When you look at these days and times and you look at these 18 and 19-year-olds on YouTube making money hand over fist, you
mhm,
don't really need, or TikTok. Like they're now doing dances on TikTok. I think one of the dances was on the NBA games.
mhm,
If you don't really need a lot of money, I just don't think that our mindset is set up that way. Our mindset is set up to you get a good job, you get a good pension, um, you get a reliable paycheck. And to be a small business owner, it ain't no predictability in how you getting paid, especially not in the beginning.
mhm.
So we gonna try to wrap this up. I mean, I think it was a productive show. We went from Chris Brown to black businesses, and we just touched on it. I'm quite sure in the future we're going to discuss more black businesses because this was just something we mentioned behind the scenes, real quick.
Or minority businesses,
Yes, to say
minority
minority business.
businesses.
But I just want to do a quick promo for two shows. Wednesday, we doing a show at 11 o'clock. I know it's on kind of early, but because of scheduling, we do an 11 o'clock show on the review of the documentary Witnesses that was on Oxygen Network.
Mhm.
A close friend of mine told me to watch it, so I watched it. So we're going to do a quick review on the show Witnesses on Oxygen. If you have a Fire Stick, you can go watch it again. It is on Fire Stick. Just go into the documentary section. It's two parts and it's very interesting. And we'll discuss that on Wednesday at 11 a.m. On Friday, we'll have our show that everyone has been waiting for, uh, the Bed Winches and Negro Peon show will be Friday. Will be Friday at 7:30. So we asking everybody to join, share, like, subscribe. I think the Friday show is going to be interesting, but Wednesday show I think should be a little heartwarming as well as information. Uh, I studied a lot for this show on Wednesday because I didn't know certain things, and me and Rel had actually shared some things with me about another documentary that I didn't know about and I had to look into,
Mhm.
as well as Keisha. So that's just the plug for Wednesday's show at 11 a.m. and Friday's show at 7:30. And I'm working on a Saturday show. Saturday night is basically a sports show. So any females that want to get in the sports show on Saturday, let me know. I know a lot of females don't like to talk about sports in public, but if they got any input, I explain what we're going to talk about for the Saturday show behind the scenes. You guys got any final statements in regards to our two subjects today?
Go ahead, Keith.
Uh, no, like I said, I don't think that the black community was ever really mad at Chris Brown. I think that was like white women Me Too movement type situation. Um, and as far as black businesses, support your local black businesses.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Support your people. Don't go in there asking for discounts. The best thing you can
Exit,
do, the best thing you do for a business owner is pay the full price. That's the most
pay your fare.
important thing, and that's it.
My final thoughts is yes, we forgiven Chris Brown. Don't allow that young man with all that immense talent go to waste. Uh, I think we need to realize that we all made mistakes at young ages, and we're not who we are yesterday. We're not the same we were yesterday, and we're not going to be the same we're going to be tomorrow. Far as black businesses, I mean, like Rel and Keisha said, don't go in there thinking you're going to get a handout. Supporting them sometimes is just not financial. Supporting them is retweeting their tweets, resharing what their projects that they're working on, and encourage them. Because a lot of times when you got your own business, you may have a lot of self-doubt. So just saying, yo, you're doing a good job. I see what you're doing. Giving them some encouragement can go a long way. That's all. I'm glad everybody could join us. Remember, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. Keisha done ran out on us already, Rel. And if you're on Facebook, invite people to the group. And remember that the group on Facebook is an extension to the page on YouTube. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right.